Some wild new comments have come out from Ivan Demidov's coach Roman Rottenberg about Demidov's role and how they see him potentially being a star for the KHL team. There's some great stuff we got to get into, some crazy quotes from Roman Rottenberg, but we also got to get into some Habs defensemen who have shown out in recent days with both Reinbacher and Konyushkov scoring in their respective games. And a final note from Elliotte Friedman on Juraj Slafkovsky that, well, it definitely has us pretty excited. So we're going to get into all that coming up on this episode of Habs Digest, and we're going to start with Elliotte Friedman. Now, he did his 32 thoughts, except in written form. You know, this is the last week of the summer. He said he's taking the week off. This is a written form of 32 thoughts, and he talks about Slav getting bigger. Get bigger? We saw him get huge already, Jesse. He's like 6'4", he's jacked, and he cut down some weight for his second season in the NHL, but according to Elliotte Friedman, if we take a look at the quote here, he said, Juraj Slafkovsky works out at the same gym as Erik Cernak, and they said they watched Erik Cernak basically nearly rip apart the gym equipment, he's that strong, with the same trainer. He's starting to look massive too. And then Slav himself said I was more confident because I know what people expect from me, how competitive the league is. Every game you have to fight for your spot every day because one day you'll wake up and you won't be in the same place as yesterday. I'm trying to focus on all the little details to make the big things, I guess like himself, look good. Jesse, this is unreal to hear these kind of comments. I can't believe he's getting bigger. I mean, I know size doesn't always correlate to success at the NHL level, but based on the progression we've seen in him using his size last year, I am so excited for this update.
Slav getting even bigger. I think we got to cue Slavzilla, Josh, for that. And we know, like, this is why, this is so important for him, though, is because this is the difference maker for Slav. It's his strength. That's what separates him from, like, his kind of beginning of the season last year that wasn't that great. And then that torrid pace that he was on for that second part of the season. Like, as soon as he started getting a little bit more solid on his skates where you couldn't just knock him off the puck, that was the Habs Digest difference maker, like, for the entire season for him, right? So him getting that strength is really big. That being said, I think a lot of Habs fans would think, okay, well, we still want him to keep his mobility as well, but as long as he's able to balance that out, I think his mobility is going to be great. But this is just a solid point to even Slav in the future, Slavzilla as he grows, right? Like, this is somebody who's winning all the one-on-one battles, all the board battles at 19 years of age. Like, just imagine if this guy naturally gets a little bit stronger, gets that man strength, 23, 24, 25. Like, this guy is going to be an absolute beast. Like, he is bullying full-time NHLers right now at 19 years of age. Now, just putting more time in the gym, we see he likes to go ham, really work really hard, and we're seeing those effects right now.
The only thing I ask is that he finds that nice balance between being too jacked, and that in which case it might slow him down on the ice, and having that nice speed and strength. But hey, strength does turn into speed as well, and he's still learning how to use his body, so I'm just excited to see what he's going to do. Let us know what you think about this down below. I didn't think it'd be possible to see him get even bigger. Habs are adding some size this offseason, Jesse, and it's exciting to see. But we're going to move on to some fun stuff here, and we've talked so much about Laine, we've talked so much about Demidov. Some guys maybe start to fall off the radar, including David Reinbacher, honestly. But he's currently playing in the pre-tournament for the Olympic qualifier, some warm-up games before the actual Olympic qualifiers go in there. And, well, he had a pretty good game, Jesse, and he scored a goal. Now, forgive the quality. This is not very good, but it's not just him. We also got Bogdan Konyushkov, who scored in a KHL preseason game. I'll let the video take it away. Here's Reinbacher on the rush, receiving the pass, sniping it. No replays, unfortunately, but the Bogdan goal, I mean, we got plenty of replays of this. So, Bogdan Konyushkov with the absolute snipe. Jesse, when you see these Habs defensemen just putting on shows, I mean, I know it's just one game sample size, but to be fair, that was an absolute rocket. To see Reinbacher, I know also it's not amazing competition. Their group isn't that great, but to see him even step in on that rush, have that fluidity skating, like, just to see these guys that, we almost lose track of how many skilled, talented prospects we have, especially high-profile ones like Reinbacher, when we have so many, like this wealth of treasures of other prospects here. It's always really good to take a look at some of the stuff that they're currently doing just to remind us how good these guys are.
Josh, is it just me, or is Reinbacher looking even quicker this summer?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think
100%, right?
Yeah.
Like, what he does in his play, first of all, when we're looking at the replay, like, he steps into the zone, right into the lane, basically giving the player no other choice but to cough up the puck to him. He then makes a solid move in his own D zone before creating the outlet pass, all the meanwhile keeping pace, right, to then just get that pass back and finish it off. This play was all David Reinbacher. We already knew that he had good mobility, but everything I'm seeing from him training in the offseason, these games here is just his quickness is just coming out. Like, this guy is quick up and down the ice, and also that ability to kind of make that first sort of move, right? So this is a guy that I see when he's in the Montreal Canadiens, when he's in the offensive zone, like, this is a guy that's going to be able to get to the slot for the Habs. He's going to be able to make one move, and because he's so mobile, I see him putting himself in positions to be able to score just because of that quickness in his game that we're seeing right now. For me, just personally speaking, this is a huge development for David Reinbacher.
I mean, I'm really excited to see what he can do in Laval this year, because this is really the first time in a while that he's going to be on a team with solid expectations. He does have another new coach, which is, it's not ideal to be cycling through so many coaches, but I think Pascal Vincent's going to be good for him. And I think seeing a full season Laval is going to be great for him. I'm really excited because I think he could really show up big this year. And another quick note on Bogdan Konyushkov, Jesse, I'm just going to revisit that shot. I mean, his offense is one of his best skill sets for sure. He still has some work to do in some aspects of his game, but to take that pass and rip it like that, I mean, I know it's preseason, but any thoughts on Bogdan, again, the captain of his team there in the KHL, putting on an offensive show, and what I assume is going to continue into this year?
I know this is a Habs channel, but objectively speaking, that is a very nice shot, especially coming from a defenseman, right? And it's in this play that we kind of see Igor Larionov's philosophy, the head coach for his team, of like wanting to use Bogdan Konyushkov kind of as like a fourth forward in the offensive zone. Like, look how deep he is in the offensive zone there. So right away, we see that strategy being put into place and also very well executed by our boy over in Russia here.
I'm super excited. There's so many good things happening, and there's even stuff happening that we didn't even get to in this video, but let us know down below your thoughts on that shot from Konyushkov. There's not a whole lot there on Reinbacher, but we will see some more from him, hopefully. The Olympic qualifiers coming up, and I think this week, so stay tuned for that. Final thing, Jesse, we got to circle back to Ivan Demidov. Now, there was an article posted on, I think it's match.ru or something, matchtv.ru. It's a Russian website. I will link it down below. Feel free to visit. If you don't want to, that's okay. You have to translate the webpage because it is all in Russian. But I saw someone post some snippets of the article. I decided to go take a look at it myself and take some quotes out of it. And Jesse, there is some fun stuff there. They talked to Roman Rottenberg, of course, Demidov's head coach over at SKA, and there was some really interesting stuff said. So let's just get into it without further ado. He said that Demidov is now playing the same. Now, again, this is loosely translated. This is using Google Translate, so there might be some mistakes, but I think we got the context. Demidov is now playing the same role as he will have in SKA, talking about, he means for that under-23 team. They see him having that same role in SKA. We're watching Vanya, which is Demidov's nickname. It's kind of a short form of Ivan. Anyway, we're very happy that he plays like that. Thanks to Demidov, we have very serious competition, which is the engine of progress. He can earn a spot on any line. He goes on to say that we talked about them and the Montreal Canadiens, how they can jointly make him one of the best players in the world, and there's no point in him going to the NHL unless he's ready to play on the first line. They will make a leader out of him. But Jesse, maybe the most fun thing out of this whole part is this. He said, when he proves his case and will play on the first line at SKA to score goals, as he does now in the Russian youth team, it will be a huge plus for everyone. There's no point in going to the fourth line of Montreal or even to the AHL where they can break their arms and legs. It's a tough league, and honestly, he's not that wrong, Jesse. The AHL is a brutal league. They have to travel on buses all the time. We always get scared of people targeting them. But to hear how high he is on Demidov, to say that he could fight for any line on SKA today, he wants him to go over to Montreal, what I assume is next season, to play on the first line. He loves this guy, and I think this is maybe even better a situation than we once thought.
This is turning into a dream situation for our draft pick, right? And it's so important that this 5th overall pick, kind of the part of the future hope of this franchise, so crucial that he gets developed properly. So to hear all these things from Roman Rottenberg, that we're going to give him an opportunity on every line, that we want to make him one of the best players in the world, that we want to put him in a leadership position. If you're Kent Hughes, this is basically all music to your ear, and you have to feel like Jeff Gordon company, okay, I'm glad we're all on the same page of making this guy one of the best players in the world. Let's not beat around the bush. This is what we have in this type of player. This is what he brings to the picture. He's not just an offensive guy. He does everything in the game well. A student of the game, which is another reason why I think he's going to get along so well with Martin St. Louis. So it's just quite incredible to see this going so well, because it's not a given. It absolutely is not, but there seems to be a very clear plan, not laid in stone, but I would say very close, of KHL this year. He's going to get his opportunities. He's going to be able to play. Next year, we're going for the NHL, and I like the goal of right away when he's coming to the NHL, we're aiming for those first line minutes, which I think is totally right.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, like, I assume if he's going to play first line, he's going to be wing. Coming over and stealing that first line center spot, can you imagine that? If he was that good, I don't know, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I think you said a good point there, a student of the game. Like, they talk about how not only is he arguably the most skilled player in this entire draft class, you could definitely make that argument over Celebrini or something, depending on, which aspects of the game you look at. Not only is he supremely confident in himself, not only has he proven it on the ice, he is also very humble. He is loved by his teammates. I'm running out of fingers. He has leadership qualities, and they say super often how much he listens and puts to work what the coaches tell him to do. And he was even saying, I got to see what Montreal's plan is for. Unbelievable stuff. And just a reminder of what he's done recently. I mean, this first assist was great, but this second goal that I'm going to show here, this fake overtime they had, like, this is just the edge work on this goal. It's like, I watch a lot of Kaprizov, as you guys know. This looks like Kaprizov. That is just Kaprizov. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, but Jesse, there's so much good happening with Ivan Demidov. Let us know down below what you think of these comments, because I think it's getting us somehow more hyped than we ever thought we would be. But that'll do it for this episode of Habs Digest. If you enjoy, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, guys. We're doing some great stuff, and we got some even better stuff coming as we approach the season, so hit that button if you haven't already. We'd really appreciate it. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.